Welcome to Quick Dive number 22. I am Skywalker Mike. That is my friend. That's the John Williams score over there.
Yo, the air horn into the no, that'd be a fire DJ.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it could work. It's a little intense.
Yeah, my friend
The
over
tone
here,
is off.
Key McKenzie.
Key McKenzie.
Hey,
Sincere.
Hello.
What's good?
And if you're not watching the video, you don't see the posters. Or if you didn't hear the music, we're talking about Star Wars. Obi-Wan,
What gave it away?
to be very specific.
Yes.
And this show
We've been waiting a while for this.
We've been waiting. It's been anticipated. It's a character that is beloved in the Star Wars universe.
Probably the greatest Jedi of all time.
Yeah. And we're gonna get into this. We're gonna talk about the whole season. I will touch a little bit on my Star Wars celebration trip and all the goodies that I got from it. And I'll actually be giving you guys a prize.
Oh yeah. So apparently we have to answer trivia questions to win a prize.
Yes. So the prizes are that rolled up poster.
All right.
And that Star Wars clip.
Okay.
And then the rest is just for show because it's from my room.
Okay.
All this is from my room.
This is
legit.
Dope.
And actually, I was thinking before we start the show, we could probably give that Obi-Wan poster away for people that loved or liked the show. You know, we'll do some type of giveaway. We'll do a post about it. That's an extra one.
Yeah.
Dope.
So we'll try to.
We'll see, fan base. If you guys, make sure you follow us on Soundflick Pod on everything.
Yeah.
And then stay up to date on potential giveaways.
We'll probably ask a trivia question, whichever one that me and Sincere can answer.
Yeah. So for the prizes, I do have a trivia question. So whoever answers gets to pick their prize.
And whoever gets it wrong gets the consultation prize.
Yeah. Whichever one is left. So.
All right. Cool.
They're both
appreciate
good
you getting gifts.
Thank you, Skywalker.
Well, let's jump straight into it. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Pad may be with you.
A Star Wars story.
Yeah.
This is a 6-episode series of Star Wars. So far, we've had The Mandalorian, and we've had the Book of Boba Fett, which is basically still the Mandalorian story.
Mandalorian 2.5.
2.5. This is our first Disney Plus show that features a Jedi as the main character.
Mm-hmm.
What was the expectation going into the show?
Well, I did expect to get a lot of fill in between the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
I did expect Jedi. I did expect to see more Sith. Pretty much I did not expect a baby Leia. Not a baby, but a little Leia.
Like a young Leia.
Yeah, a young Leia.
So this show takes place 10 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith and Order 66, which is an interesting time because we haven't really seen that only in animated form with Star Wars Rebels. And in Star Wars Rebels, Obi-Wan does make an appearance and he fights Darth Maul. I don't want to tell you guys the ending of that because I think you should watch Star Wars Rebels. It's a really, really good scene.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka is in Star Wars Rebels. We saw Ahsoka in Book of Boba Fett and in Mandalorian. So this was just like a really interesting point in the timeline to tell this story. How does Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan turn into Alex Guinness's Obi-Wan? What happens in between that 20, 25 years?
I mean, he doesn't just stay on the planet for that long, does he?
That was what was implied. It was implied that the events of Revenge of the Sith and him fighting Anakin, and then when he sees Darth Vader again in A New Hope
is the next time
that they were going to see each other.
Right.
But we were teased very early on that Darth Vader would be making an appearance in this show. Now, I didn't realize how much of an appearance Darth Vader was going to be.
Yeah,
he was in this show a lot more than I thought. I thought he would just be kind of calling
like final
the shots.
battle type thing.
Not even the final battle. I didn't think that he was I didn't know that they were going to actually fight. Like, I thought that he was going to come maybe face to face with him and they were going to have like some dialogue and he'd probably escape or something.
Was their OG fight.
Was the OG fight. But they actually fought multiple times on it throughout these 6 episodes, which I thought was really, really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the episode where he's dragging Obi-Wan through the fire.
I mean,
it's a great episode.
Yeah, it's crazy. So
that was one of the interactions with them.
Yeah, like this show surprised me in areas and then also underwhelmed me in certain areas as well. I thought it was like really ambitious for them to kind of step back into their roles. This is kind of like the first prequel characters that we've had in a show. And it's been, 20 years.
Right.
Huh?
Right? Or movie.
Or movie. There hasn't been prequel characters in movies or anything like that. So them to kind of revisit it. It starts off with Obi-Wan kind of looking after a young Luke in Tatooine, but he's trying to keep hidden. We thought that prior to all of the new Star Wars things that have come out, when you watch old Star Wars, you think that, oh, well, he's just hiding because they lost the war. And this was a good time for them to include Inquisitors. And Inquisitors are Jedi who've turned to the dark side or who've been tortured by the Empire and have turned to the dark side. They aren't full-blown Sith, but they are aiding the Empire in capturing and killing all of the remaining Jedi that didn't die in Order 66 and trying to demolish, wipe their ideals, their existence, and all of the Inquisitors all report to Darth Vader, who tells them, their missions and everything like that, and then Darth Vader reports to
he's just continuing Order 66,
pretty much.
As much as we weren't anticipating Vader, were you not anticipating hating Christians and reprising it?
No, I knew that was going to be the case.
Like with
if they did
Anakin?
It. Yes. Yeah. And that was kind of what I was looking forward to, because in the show there's an episode where they do the flashback, and I was hoping that they were going to do the flashback.
Nice.
And it was really it was like a good scene
earlier in the season.
I agree. I think that they should have done it earlier. I think that there should have been more points of like the adventures that we maybe saw in Clone Wars.
Point,
yeah.
Because it was supposed to reflect what happened in, I guess, episode 5. I guess episode 5 and part 5 were supposed to kind of reflect. Each episode in part was supposed to reflect kind of parallel the movies in a way, which I think we talked about it in a previous episode, how nowadays a lot of these movies are just trying to do parallels to old movies, and instead of trying to create something new, they recreate that actual scene, and it's like, that is so cool, but
a lot of it goes with the whole nostalgia.
New.
So
yeah, and obviously Star Wars has been trying to. Obviously, they brought back Obi-Wan, and he's a classic character. Obviously, going back all the way to the 70s from the OG Star Wars movies from 4 through 6. So, to bring him back, it was already a parallel in its own.
And they did Darth Vader so well. He was terrifying.
I was
powerful.
Scared. Like, how OP are you going to make him?
Yeah,
because you have to make him OP. But then I'm like, when he fights Obi-Wan, how is Obi gonna combat that? Exactly. And obviously, their first interaction is
he lost, which I loved. I love that,
which was perfect. Because Obi-Wan hadn't used the Force for 10 years, not even a saber for 10 years. So when he came across him, it was like he had to tap back in, but it was so sudden. He didn't know that he was gonna come face to face with him.
And I think that there was still a glimmer of hope for him, because he didn't know, he wasn't around. He thought he died already. He found out in the show that Darth Vader was Anakin, and which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
Where I was like, dang, he doesn't know that's the case.
And those are the blanks that I love to see filled.
Yeah. So my anticipation going into it was also like, just, he really did become a hermit, like just isolating from everything. So the fact, it wasn't too surprising to me that he found out that Anakin became Darth Vader. Even more so, like, being able to see the genuine reaction of someone he considered his brother to,
So we got a couple new characters in this show as well. One of the more polarizing characters is Reva, who is a third sister Inquisitor, which is the lowest ranking Inquisitor next to the Grand Inquisitor and the first brother and second sister. And
they needed to show more of them.
Yeah, they did. They definitely needed to show more Inquisitors, and like the whole Inquisitor lore is very interesting. I feel like they inform what the Knights of Ren should have ended up being later on, but they kind of squandered that anyway. That's a separate topic. But so you have this third sister, Reva, where we don't really know much about her, but she's definitely a loose cannon, kind of angry, doesn't understand the bigger picture when you first see her. She's very just driven by what, by causing fear.
Yeah.
Which is like her main weapon.
Which is kind of what Anakin was kind of like.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like the beginning stages. There were some similarities. When you look at Twitter and, just the response, a lot of people did not like the character at first. I personally felt that I don't have a problem with a new character being introduced or a new backstory or someone having like that kind of heavy burden in the film other than Obi-Wan. But I wish that she was written a little bit better. Like her dialogue scenes weren't written that great.
I mean, there were at times when she would be interacting with little Leia, and little Leia like outacted her. To be honest,
yeah,
I was like, what is going on in this?
What was that
scene?
scene when she was like,
she was interrogating her?
Yeah, and she was like, something about disrespecting like a lower life form, or she was like, I don't need to respect you, or something like that.
Yeah, honestly, that whole scene is forgettable. Like there was nothing.
There was a lot of cringe
good that came out of that scene.
Yeah.
Like nothing carried
advanced
on.
anything. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But ultimately, that's just like one of the scenes where, again, she was getting outacted even in the most unforgettable scenes. You know what I mean?
And I think just to your point with young Leia, a lot of people thought that this movie was going to revolve around him watching over young Luke. And they decided to introduce young Leia as having a memorable, traumatic interaction with Obi-Wan to kind of set up when Princess Leia says, Ben,
I need your help.
Ben, I need your help, or Obi-Wan, or I don't know how.
I think it's Ben.
I think she said Obi-Wan, and then Luke only knew Ben Skywalker, so he's like, "Do you know who Obi-Wan is?" Or like, are they talking about
which
you?
is cool to see it come full circle like that.
Yeah.
Like seeing that Leia had a relationship with Obi-Wan, but it was never implied that they did.
Yeah, and it kind of throws a little continuity off as far as reactions are concerned. You'd think that, but again, it happened at such a young age that, I started, at first I got caught up in the hype where I was like, yeah, like it should have, like, Leia should have known about this. But then I think back to like when I was 10 and I'm like, okay, do you remember every interaction you had that was, when you were 10, and you don't, because obviously you're growing up. And him being more involved in Luke's life as he's now starting to grow up makes more sense to me and how Luke knew him. So I'm not really jumping on the bandwagon anymore, but Leia was annoying, bro.
I thought
you think the writing as like
she was really good,
or was it the actress?
I mean, it was just I didn't think that I was gonna get that kind of show. I didn't.
Yeah,
I hate.
I know what you mean.
Thing that I hate about young characters like that, and like they did it in Bad Batch also, where it's like the young helpless girl, and I hate the chase scene because there's no way a 10-year-old's gonna get away from me. Like, what are you talking about?
It's funny because
I couldn't get away from my mom, and I was in my yard.
Yeah,
I saw the first 2 episodes of the Obi-Wan show at the premiere at Star Wars Celebration, and I remember the chase scene happening. And I looked around like, is this real? Why can't they catch her? But I was just like in the hype, like whatever, brush it off. And then I saw it again. I was like, yeah, that was a really bad scene.
It's bad. It's bad to have that. So, I think that obviously you have a 10-year-old, You just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because she can't die. But kids would make a mistake that would cause them to die in those kinds of situations. So it's tough to put a 10-year-old in that situation and expect it to be, for me, not to get taken out of the realism of it.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to care too much because, I mean, you already know what happens. But that's the thing with this show. Like, they had to tiptoe what they can do because everything already happened. This is just a fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing new. You could, but it can't relate to the Skywalker
to the events
timeline.
that could potentially alter something or cause a
so it's
error.
very hard.
Yeah,
it's difficult.
And that was the one thing with the show. A lot of people, you know, they're like, oh, I don't like certain things about the show, but it's like they have to be careful with this show. They can't just put their whole foot in it.
Yeah.
It's much easier to do like a prequel before all that as it is to have a fill in the blank. So I get you.
What is your favorite scene from the show?
I'm gonna go with the Vader one.
Which one?
In part 5, when he finally lands on, I think it's Jabim, and he goes down, and Reva opens the door, the blast doors or whatever, and they're trying to get in, and then the
ship
rebellion
takes off.
The path, right, is what they're called.
Yeah,
they're trying to escape and open the hatch door so they can leave, and then they have like a decoy ship fly out the hatch, and Vader just like pulls it down so effortlessly, and then rips it apart like a tin can, like a soda can, you know,
rips the doors open.
And I was just like, I mean, we've seen Vader do that, but you know, it's so epic now that we have the technology to make it look super badass. And we've seen Kylo Ren kind of do it. So it was like, I really started to think like, oh, wow, like if Kylo Ren could do that, like Vader is like exponentially crazy.
They're up in the power.
We know how OP Vader is, but just to see that was like so awe. I was in awe of just watching that.
Me too. And it was really cool. Even the introduction of Vader in action in I think it was the 3rd episode when he was walking through the town and he started like murking the people in the town, snapping necks, going through. You have to show that. You know, it's like you can't hold that back. And because like Vader's feared across the galaxy, you can't not show why he's feared across the galaxy. And so I'm with you. Like that was a really cool, like they just did Vader so well in this show. Vader almost outshined everybody. You know, honestly.
But I like that because I mean we knew Vader was gonna be in the show and we knew what he could bring to the table. As on the other hand, it was kind of like a save little Leia show, you know? So we didn't know we were gonna get that. Obviously got sprinkled in there because I think Star Wars needs filler if it's gonna be a show. Because I don't think without the filler it would have been a show, and they could have just easily made it a movie, which is the route that they should have gone.
That was what they originally were going to do. They were going to make a trilogy out of Obi-Wan.
See, that's a little too much.
I think it's a little bit too much too. Maybe but apparently, after Solo didn't do so well in the box office, they scrapped it. They don't want to do it anymore. And I feel like after hearing
Solo
that,
was a good movie.
Solo wasn't as bad as everybody makes it out to be.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's a different character playing Han Solo, but like, I don't know. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Solo. Like, I thought it was cool.
It was the actor that people were.
It was the actor, and I know the whole 12 parsecs thing was like super underwhelming for most people watching that movie.
I just think that they bashed it for no good reason. Like, if you go back and watch Solo today, like it's not as bad as it holds up. It's not as bad as everybody made it out to be.
My friend told me this one thing: people that love Star Wars hate Star Wars, and a lot of the times is because they want it to be what it was originally, but that was just as bad. But it's nostalgic.
It's the old head.
It holds weight. But it's like, it's kind of hard to give people, like, we don't even know what people want in Star Wars. And I think that should be the thing, you know, giving us what we don't know we want. But then when they do that, it's like.
Everybody has a version of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's too many generations.
And if they don't see what they feel is Star Wars, then they're going to, bash it.
And going back to the old heads at Star Wars Celebration, so many older people. I'm just like, yeah, this makes sense. And they brought their family, and their family brought their kids. So I was like, this is three generations.
I guess to put it in layman's or like artist terms, like it's the whole like boom bap discussion where like you get a lot of old heads that don't think double time flows or don't think trap beats or just different sounding anything isn't real hip hop. Like this is what hip hop was based on. So you see a lot of people from watch Star Wars as a kid in the 70s that don't like the new Star Wars anything. They blame, obviously it's always gonna go to, I blame Disney.
I met a guy, he was like, I was there at the first Star Wars movie showing, and I was like, that's pretty crazy. And I don't know I didn't ask him how he felt on the new trilogy, but he was there, so I assume he liked Star Wars.
I mean, we're probably, people are gonna feel that way about Marvel 20 years from now, 30 years from now.
I was there
for Iron Man, for Avengers 1. I remember, going through it. So
I actually didn't see any of those movies in theater. So
you missed out. It was a good time.
I don't remember watching.
I didn't think it was gonna
movies till
get that big.
I think the first Phase trailer I saw from Phase 3 was Thor.
Yeah.
You mean from Phase 1?
Phase 1, sorry.
The first one you saw was Thor?
The first one I saw out of all of them.
Yeah, I feel bad for you.
That's the first one I saw too, but I saw it on DVD.
At least that I remember. It could have been Incredible Hulk, but I remember Thor.
Yeah, no, I watched it from the beginning, and I was tripping out. Like,
I mean, were you there for the
coming.
Star Wars prequels in the theaters?
Yeah, I was there for the Star Wars prequels.
My
Bro,
dad,
I will never forget when the Phantom Menace trailer came out. I know exactly where I was standing in my living room watching this thing. Like,
I'm younger than you by a few years. My dad took me to go see the movies because he thought I'd like them. Every movie he took me to the prequels, I fell asleep. But he would always like take us to movies late, so it was kind of
I wish he would. That was when midnight showings were a thing.
I wish he would have took us like early in the day because it would have been so different.
Bruh, like seeing that trailer now. Also, the Phantom Menace
midnight showings.
The Phantom Menace trailer is one of the best movie trailers that's ever been created, hands down. And like when you watch it and the music and that particular episode 1 music is the best music of Star Wars, period. John Williams, he put his foot into that movie. There was nothing I remember. Oh my goodness, seeing the doors open and Darth Maul take out the double-sided lightsaber.
Darth Maul is
he's
epicness. One of the iconic characters.
His way it opens up is just one end first, and then the second end.
The one end, and you're just like, oh shit. And then the other one, you're like, we've never seen, like I've never even imagined that was going to be the case. And it was gorgeous. And the song was crazy. It was insane.
He was on one.
It was insane.
Especially the technology that he came across. He's like, I can make Star Wars.
Now,
and
yes, the technology doesn't hold up too much when you watch it. But that movie, it's definitely not as bad as people thought.
Which is why I'm a bit confused of how people don't like how the new Obi-Wan show looks, how the new Star Wars movies looks, because the technology is where it's at now to make these movies look super amazing. Obviously, sometimes it can be overproduced, which I think Obi-Wan was a little bit, which is kind of weird because it took them 2 months to make this. And I feel like they should have took their time a little bit. Because maybe they could have did some reshoots, rewrote some scenes, added some scenes. There were some more Qui-Gon Jinn scenes that
didn't make it
because Kathleen Kennedy just wanted to show them in the last episode.
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, that's one of the things that hurts Star Wars is Kathleen it does have a little bit of a DC vibe where the executives have last say over it.
Yeah.
And
I mean, we saw that with the trilogy.
And a lot of people are just like, fam, like you're not in tune with what we like from Star Wars.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes from the Obi-Wan show, which I really appreciate them doing, is the Darth Vader and Obi-Wan dialogue after Vader got his helmet cut.
That was
and
beautiful.
It was going in and out of Anakin's voice and James Earl Jones. That was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And
it
was so poetic. It was beautiful. You saw the blue and the red going out as he was talking, and it humanized him. And it just made me feel like this, like he just nailed it still.
I mean, to me, this Vader, it's a young Vader, obviously. It's only 10 years. He was like 22 at the end of 6 when he started becoming an apprentice for the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only like 32. He's in his prime Vader, but obviously he gets stronger. So he's still kind of Anakin more than Vader. And we even see that when Palpatine's showing episode though.
Yeah,
but Palpatine's like, are you sure this is behind you? You know, because obviously it's still Anakin in the suit.
Yeah.
Everything he's doing is what Anakin would have did. You know, he wants revenge on Obi, and then that's when he gets set straight by Palpatine.
And I think that's why Palpatine wants clones, because he's like, I got to figure out a way to clone myself because I can't trust having somebody, because my apprentice is still tied to his old master.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and then we see it in episode 6 what happens.
Yes.
So,
and I just think that that scene itself was just amazing, and it may ruin a little bit of the continuity because I don't feel like they were supposed to have that kind of battle personally, and then you go into A New Hope and it's like,
I mean, I think it's cool, you know.
But
it's
it was
not
good, man.
It's not the only time that they met. Obviously, in that episode where they meet and they fight, you know, the OG fight. Obviously, he says finally the student. Student meets the master or something like that.
Before I was but the learner, merely the learner, but now I am the master.
Yeah, and like Sin was saying, like that kind of creates a plot hole. But I mean, he kind of said the same thing to him when they were fighting on the planet.
Yeah, and I think that he felt that way because he still got bested. You know, and he was like, "Damn it!" Like I still.
And
got
it was,
bested.
and again, it was a parallel, you know. But this time, Vader had the high ground, and Obi-Wan. Right?
Yeah. I mean, he missed the opportunity to say it. I'm sure that they said it one time, and then they probably heard it back and was just kind of like, "Nah."
Because it goes back, they're recreating
I
something
have the high
instead of
ground
creating
now.
something new.
Yeah.
And you know,
although it would have been dope to hear James Earl Jones like say it, like,
I have the high ground.
Now who has the high ground? Like something like that. It would have been like, oh, okay.
And
I'm just so glad James Earl Jones is still like.
Well,
running
it
shit.
wasn't actually James Earl Jones. It was they typed it and it made it sound like him. Kind of like what they did with Luke and Boba Fett. And Amando. So it was him. He authorized them to use his voice. So, but it was cool because I don't know. They used him in Rogue One, and his voice was. I mean, he's old now.
Well,
so
now I'm sad. So thank you, Skywalker.
You're
Mike,
welcome.
I'm just glad that he gets credit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he is Vader. So OG Vader.
I don't think that we'll ever get a Vader show, but. No. I'm glad that there are some really cool things that we saw from Vader. I
just want to see more
show.
Vader somehow.
I don't know if you
have
can.
Darth Vader on my debit card.
Obi-Wan season 2.
They're not going to do a season 2.
Obi-2.
They said it. They said if the people want it, we'll give it to them.
They don't want it,
and
I don't want it.
I want it.
Yeah, you didn't even like the show, man. Tell us why you didn't like it.
No, I didn't finish it. It just wasn't. It gave me too much of I had too much of a remaining of a bad taste of what Boba Fett left me with.
Wait, so you didn't like Boba Fett either?
I liked Boba Fett.
No, we talked about this
more.
We talked about how corny I
because
thought Boba Fett was in the last quick dive.
Gotcha.
I guess I like Boba Fett more because they could play around with it more. You know, they could because we didn't know what happened after Boba Fett. Well, we thought he died. You know, so now he's alive, and it's cool to see them continue that story. With Obi-Wan, it's contained. It's very, very contained. And you can only do so much without altering the timeline.
And I think I've said this multiple times, is that the issue with Star Wars is that there's a linear timeline, you know? Like certain events have to happen the way that they're happening because we've showed this Skywalker story. So anything that has to deal with the Skywalkers, we have to show it in a certain way.
Everything lines up with the Skywalkers.
And now they're starting to branch out from that. You know, like Taika Waititi is doing a Star Wars movie. Kevin Feige is doing a Star Wars movie, and what's his name who did Last Jedi? Ryan Johnson is doing a Star Wars movie, and all of them have said that it's going to take place outside of the Skywalker sphere.
Nice.
Which
I'm
is
very
exciting.
curious.
Yeah, I'm curious for it, and I'm excited. Like, if this is a huge galaxy, show me some other things. Don't neglect Jedi. Because we do want to see Jedi. Like, I don't want to see a Star Wars movie that's just blasters and bureaucracy. Like, no, I don't care about that. I want to see Jedi and Sith. That's what Star Wars is about. Like, you can't not show them.
Yeah,
that's a bluff.
It's not all the Skywalker saga.
Yeah, and The Mandalorian is great because they don't necessarily show that, but like hints to it enough. Where it's like,
they just put them in there a little bit.
It's like you got a black saber, like that's fire, and it makes sense. And the things that the Jedi did affect the world that's around it. And I feel like as long as you do that, then that's fine too. So I'm hoping, shows like Andor and all of these other shows that are coming
trailer
out.
For Andor.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to Acolyte because that's
that too. Real quick, Star Wars Celebration. So dope. Just real quick, like I loved all the panels. I worked it. Shout out to 1050.
Hey,
really dope.
Your texts were fun to get, bro. A lot of the photos you were taking were dope.
Yeah, I was just taking photos with everybody cosplaying. So many dope cosplays. So many. I'm assuming
panels. It didn't feel like work.
No, they never feel like work.
That's dope.
He can attest. But super cool. If you can go to one, go to one. I don't know if you can go to the next one. Next one's in London. We'll see. But yeah, really dope experience. I loved it. And before we go, we are going to grade the show, but I want to give away.
Yeah, hit us with these trivia questions.
So
bro.
it's just one.
Okay.
Let's see if you guys can
get it, man.
Oh, we didn't bring out the buzzers, but it's all right.
It's okay. It's okay.
How are we gonna pick who goes to answer the question first?
I mean, whoever answers.
Just a shout out. Don't be nervous.
At what age?
I'm just kidding.
10.
Does Anakin start building C-3PO?
Oh, at 10. Oh, start. 8.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8. You already said 10.
Well, you guys are both wrong.
4.
No.
How old?
5.
It's 9.
9? Damn it.
You guys skipped.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Well, yeah, you guys can rock, paper, scissors.
Are we going to go on shoot or on 3?
Yeah, go on
3. What? Who goes on shoot? On 3?
All right, go on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Damn it.
I got it.
All right. So between the clip and the rolled up poster.
What clip?
And you can open it. I want to see what it is. Because potentially you can open a Obi-Wan. Or an Anakin.
Oh, okay. All right.
Or
it's front of the camera.
Or anything.
So wait, is that what you're choosing?
Yeah.
Can you pass me my consultation prize, please?
Yeah, and you can unravel it
Hell
as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a pretty cool poster.
Let's see. Does this have like a little?
Yeah, I'll open mine. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a Galactic Star Cruisers.
Fire. Thank you, Skywalker Mike.
Yeah, man.
It's cool.
Yeah, I got
gotta get a scissors for this.
I got any scissors in here? Scissors.
Bro, just use your teeth.
I'm not going to do that.
I'm kidding, dog. I'm kidding.
Nah, that's like foil.
Yeah.
Okay, well, while we get that situated, Skywalker, we're going to start off with the ratings.
All right, so
no.
My grade while we work this ASMR, my grade for the show is a C plus. B minus C plus. So yeah.
Oh no.
Got the scissors. All right,
scissors.
And we're gonna reveal what the character
I'm actually
clip
cut it. I'm actually
is.
cut the clip.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, I thought I was going to. That would suck.
Yeah, I got so much stuff. I've already given away so much. What is it?
All right.
The reveal.
Yeah.
Is it Obi-Wan?
It is.
Is it
this guy?
Who is it? It's not Obi-Wan.
It's not one. It's Wrecker.
Oh, cool. From the Bad Batch.
Oh, that's fire.
It's a good show.
Wrecker from the Bad Batch. Cool. Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
I wish
cool.
I would have had more, but everything's expensive there.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, no, there was a lot of cool
Imagine
stuff.
you got the Darth Maul one.
Bro, that would be hard.
There were some cool ones on the back. I kept trying to feel them. Like, what could this be?
Who could this be? But it's probably the Ahsoka.
Oh wait, no, sorry, it's Tech. It's not Wrecker.
Okay,
it's
still from the Bad Batch.
Tech. Yeah, Bad Batch. It's Tech. That's cool.
So considering I didn't finish the show, I'll probably end up finishing after the
yeah. No,
I'm probably just gonna be neutral and just give it a C.
Cool.
I wasn't like over the top, but I wasn't too underwhelmed. It was just, I don't know, man. There's other.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it though. It was a good experience, and I feel like I was biased because I did see the premiere, so I felt invested.
I feel you.
I'm glad that they made the show. I'd rather them make the show than not make the show. I give it a B as well, probably B minus. There are things about it that I wish were better. I understand the trauma-filled journey that Obi-Wan had to go through. And there are some scenes in this show that are some of the best Star Wars scenes that I've ever seen, which is great. The story, all in all, everything kind of put into it, I think that they could have made it a little bit better. Shout out to everybody involved.
Yeah, shout out Deborah Cho.
Like Twitter responded really well with the show, but also Twitter being Twitter just responds to the highlights and highlights only. So a few of the things, like I'm already spoiled about the ending, and we kind of talked about that before the podcast.
You're spoiling the ending because you saw A New Hope.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in with us, and if you saw the show, give us your thoughts. If you didn't see the show and you liked our review, go watch it. I think it's a good watch, you know.
Definitely worth it if you're watching Disney Plus.
I will give it a rewatch eventually, but for now, I'll let it sit. And
do not forget to follow us on Soundflick Pod because we are doing a giveaway.
Yeah, we will be giving away that Obi-Wan poster right dead in the middle.
If you feel the Obi-Wan Kenobi name,
it's embossed. It's super cool. I didn't know that until today. So really cool poster. I remember like before the premiere, I was like, that poster is super cool. And then leaving the premiere, they're handing them out. I was like, oh yeah, this is going on the wall.
Sick.
So yeah, but thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to start a podcast, go to productiveculture.com/podcast and they will hook you up. Mention us. And yeah, they'll hook it up.
Bing bong.
Year.
All right,
y'all. Peace.
Bye.
Peace out.